Hello, frailing-at-lifers. It has been a while, right? Or as they say around these parts, a great long time, for which I apologise. But I'm still alive, I'm here. I hope you guys are doing well. There's a lot of you. I think we were on over 6,000 subscribers last time I looked, which is unbelievable. So you might be wondering why I've resurfaced from the dead after so long, and if you give me a few minutes I'll explain and talk a little bit about like reflections on what the channel has been, what it is and what I want to do with it in the future. YouTube has given me a little bit of a ultimatum, mafia style, that I have to do something in the next 30 days because, well, I'll explain. Anyway, going back to the sort of start, as a lot of you guys have been here from the start will know, this was a pandemic project, and my intention with this Frailing at Life channel was always to just put some beginners tutorials up, quite long form, 20-30 minutes, like really going into it in depth, going through things slowly for complete beginners. I started learning the banjo from scratch a little bit later in life. I was in my 30s already. I could read music, but I was certainly no musician and didn't really play anything else. And I sort of, you know, scratted about online trying to find like resources on YouTube and stuff, and there wasn't a massive amount around, but I did find quite a few bits that were really helpful. So when we went into the lockdowns and the quarantines and whatever it was called in your neck of the woods, I knew that there might be people, you know, learning an instrument for the first time maybe, or swapping to a different instrument, bit of time on the hands wanting to learn, and I obviously had a bit more time on my hands, so I'm like a singer-songwriter. I perform as Banjo Gem, I write my own songs, so I've got that side of things, but I have a day job. I currently work for a financial capability charity, going into lots of different schools and colleges all over the region. I do a lot of driving around, so you know, I'm quite busy, and I don't really have extra time. I've got a health condition as well, so I don't have a massive amount of time for extra projects. But in lockdown, obviously, I did have a bit more time, and I thought, right, let's start from scratch. Let's do a series of tutorials that really go through stuff in detail, and I know that a lot of you really appreciated that. And I honestly just thought it might reach, you know, I didn't even know if it would reach 100 people. You know, I'd not really put much on YouTube. I'd got a few of my own sort of songs on my Banjo Jen channel, but it reached quite a lot of you, and I've had so many lovely messages and comments and emails over the years. Some of you have donated to my PayPal. I've met a lot of you in person as well, you know, those of you that are in England. You know, quite a few of you have come to gigs or been at festivals that I've been playing at. I've even been like stopped in the street before. You know, and it's just been incredible. It's more than I could ever have imagined. You know, I played the little Cripple Creek thing at the start there. I think the Cripple Creek tutorial is now on like 80-odd thousand views. So it's amazing. It's absolutely brilliant. But like I say, it was only ever really intended to be a lockdown thing, and I'd put quite a lot of videos up. You know, the 7 sort of beginner tutorials that really went from scratch right up to playing Cripple Creek, and then there was all the others, you know, tried to do like a 3/4 time and a blues on the banjo, and you know, a couple of tunes that people could have a go at and stuff. So I felt like, you know, there was quite there was quite a good variety of stuff there. And then when, you know, the world started going back to normal and I got busy again, I just haven't really, you know, had the time to dedicate to it. And I just thought, well, they're up there now, aren't they? They're free. They'll continue to always be free. Because that was another thing. I really wanted to make sure there was free resources for people, especially during the pandemic when things were tough, and things, you know, okay, we're not in a pandemic anymore, but things are still really tough, aren't they? The cost of living is crazy. And, you know, obviously there's a lot of teachers who have Patreon accounts and do like courses that you can pay for, and they're, you know, doing that as part of how they make their living. I'm not doing it for that reason at all. You know, and I don't know, maybe they don't like me very much because I've put quite a lot of stuff on for free, but that's important to me. I never wanted it to cost anything to anybody. That being said, because it was quite popular and you know, quite a lot of you subscribed, which was never particularly my intention. I wasn't after subscriptions. I'm not a content creator by any stretch, but because of, like, you know, it was quite popular and it was viewed a lot of times. YouTube do give me a little bit of money for the adverts that they run on the tutorials. Now, not a lot. I mean, we're talking a few quid. It's not going to pay my rent anytime soon, but you know, it's just nice just to get that. Anyway, they've now sent me an email saying that because I haven't been active for so long, they're going to stop doing that unless I post something in the next few days. So whilst it's not about that money at all, it did make me stop and like have a little think about the channel and what it means. And like I say, it was always intended just to be a sort of pandemic project to help people, but I also don't particularly want it to just die off. And I'm also conscious that I've heard a few horror stories about people's YouTube channels being like deleted and taken down for like random reasons, and I didn't want the fact that I've been so inactive on it, even though you guys are still watching stuff on it, I'm not posting, and I didn't want that to be a reason that they suddenly like take it down or whatever, because I really want it to stay up and be helpful for people. So I thought, right, you know, yes, I don't have a massive amount of time to dedicate to it, but you know, if I've made a conscious effort, there probably are a few more videos I could put up that would help beginners. I can only do so much because I'm not a very advanced player. You know, I know my nickname is Banjo Jen and that's what I perform as, but I use it for like you know, writing songs and accompanying my songs. I'm not a technical player in terms of knowing loads of different styles, knowing loads of different tunes. So I can only like help out to a certain point, but I think there are a few extra things that I haven't put on the channel that I, you know, I could go into. And I know that, you know, I do get quite a lot of messages and things saying that people would like to see me again and see some more content, some more tutorials. So I mean, I've even I was looking the other day for my sometimes it's easier to get to my own website, the Banjo Jen website. I just sort of Google Banjo Jen and obviously it comes up, and then I can click on it just to check things without going into my whole like account and dashboard and stuff. Anyway, as I started to type into Google, it you know how it sometimes comes up with suggestions of like what other people have typed, and it was like, what happened to Banjo Jen? Where did Banjo Jen go? So I thought, oh god, like people, like if you only know me from this channel, like I just vanished, I guess, after COVID. But I'm still very much active out there with my singer-songwriter stuff. So you can find me on all the other like socials and things. But it just, yeah, it made me laugh. Like, where have I gone? I'm still here. I'm still alive. So going forward, my intention is that I would like to keep this channel active. I think it's a lovely community, and I'm sorry as well that I don't get to reply to all the comments on all the tutorial videos that have been up there for ages. I have read them, I have seen them, and I really appreciate all the lovely, because they're mostly lovely comments. I know the internet can be a bit of a hostile, weird place, but for the most part, on this channel, people's comments are lovely and encouraging, and it's really nice seeing sort of people talk to each other as well on there, and I think that would be a lovely thing to try and keep going. So I will aim to do some more videos in the next few weeks and months and put them on here. Hopefully that will appease YouTube in terms of that I'm posting enough to keep it active and whatever that needs. I guess that likes and comments help the algorithms. I don't know much about this stuff. Like I say, I have no desire to be a content creator. I'm a songwriter and a musician, and if I can help a few people along the way for free, then great. But obviously we do live in this weird digital world where the algorithms are king. So if you can, I don't know, give it a thumbs up, a like, a comment on this video. I know I'm rambling on and this isn't an actual tutorial. Well done if you've stuck with it this far. But I'm also aware, I don't know what the length that I need to upload is. Like I say, YouTube have sent me this email. So I'm hoping that if I do, a decent length of video, it'll count towards whatever it needs to count towards. I don't know, who knows. Anyway, that's where we're at, people. So hopefully that's good news for you guys, that I am going to post some more stuff. Please don't sort of bombard me with requests for things, because I literally, I don't have that much time, so I'll be putting stuff up that I kind of know and that I think would help, and I might not be able to sort of get round to specific tunes and songs that people want to learn. You might have to go and sort of research that yourself, but I do intend to put some more kind of helpful tutorials up there. There will be long form again. I know obviously sometimes people prefer the sort of short, snappy 3-minute videos of a quick technique. Personally, that's just not me doing those. I don't even know how to do all the editing on here, to be honest. I watch some things on YouTube and it's flashing this with all the captions, and that doesn't interest me. All right. I've always worked in education, and for me, it's better just to be upfront, to be straight, and to go through things in detail and take the time over it. And that's how I will always teach and be online. Okay, so ramble over. Hopefully that's long enough for YouTube. Hopefully you're still with me, and I will hopefully see you very soon with some more banjoing, frailing at life. All right guys, speak soon.